name is Olivia Barrell, and I'm founder of a platform called Art Forms. Art Forms is a platform dedicated to sculptural form within contemporary South African art, and the first medium that we're focusing on is clay. This follows on from our recent publication, Clay Forms, which is dedicated to contemporary South African artists working in clay and ceramics.
My name is Ugonna Ibe. I am the founder and chief curator at Yonwa Gallery, and we are located in Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria.
Hi, my name is Radisa Mutsumi. I'm an artist from Botswana. I'm a multidisciplinary artist working in sculpture, photography, print, and works based in paper also.
Art Forms was conceptualized as a new platform, a new format gallery that is part gallery, part publishing house. And what we believe in is telling the stories that exist around the artist practices. So we are presenting 3 artists at this year's Latitudes: Henny Meyer, Siyabonga Fani, and Jabulile Nala.
So for our debut at the RMB Latitudes Art Fair, we have decided to showcase 2 Nigerian artists who are from different generations. We have a young, emerging female artist and an established older male artist. While we selected them because they are speaking about cultural history and the relationship with their personal identity, but they also use similar techniques, such as layering techniques. We have Akin Tunde Disu, who uses screen printing to layer on different acrylics and different stories in a similar way that Nola as well does collage, layering the different pieces as she talks about her personal history and womanhood.
I think most of the time my work is inspired by kind of a self-introspect, my everyday life existence, and the kind of ideas I go through every day, the kind of relationships I have to place. I lived in South Africa for a long time where I felt I was other, and because this became home, when I left back to Botswana, I was other again because I hadn't been in the same context for such a long time. So even the series of photographs kind of deals to some extent with the idea of who are you, and how much of your identity you put across in certain spaces, how you negotiate that, and the kind of reference of the straight head-on kind of bust photograph is to the passport photograph, the identity document that everyone has, but it also is kind of intrusive to some extent.
Art Forms, we believe in curating each exhibition that we do. So we very much believe in the relationship that needs to exist between sculpture and words. So we've curated and created a space which welcomes in the viewer, and we hope to explain something of each one of the bodies of work and tell some of the stories that exist behind each one of the art that we represent.
So for our gallery programming, we focus on selecting artists who have a strong narrative to their work. It might be beautiful, it might be engaging and pulls you in. We want to ensure that there is a strong story behind every piece. We also love emerging artists and mid-career, sometimes overlooked artists. But in general, we want to know that there is a thought process behind their chosen medium, their chosen themes, and then in the team, as long as we connect with it, then we're happy to represent it. We only show the things that we love and we would invest in ourselves.
We believe that sculptural form has been very neglected within contemporary South African art, especially in the medium of clay. Our recent publication, Clay Forms, that came out at the end of 2023, focuses on the leading contemporary South African artists working in this medium, creating sculpture with this medium. And we are delighted to present 3 of the featured artists from our book at this year's Latitudes.
Latitudes have evolved quite a bit. I mean, there's so much I could touch on. I mean, I could speak to how it's kind of like a foremost authority when we're thinking about the online marketplace. How it cultivates it cultivates the growth of the economy and the ecosystem around the arts world, just to how it exists as this online marketplace where anyone in the world can have access to forms of creative expression from the African continent. And there's this idea of accessibility that allows, but I guess, and then we can think also of the physical fair experience and how it is pushing the bounds in terms of what an art fair experience can be. It's moving past the idea of perhaps 4 white walls, I might say, to creating an experience that is in conversation with the natural world, one that draws from the architecture of the space to create a more holistic, a more immersive experience, I might say. I think that's pretty special. I think it allows for an openness, and it's also cultivating critical engagement to consistently and continuously critique and question and innovate, to think of more and better ways in which what we call the arts world can function specifically within this context to serve our context better. So I find that very exciting, and yeah, I'm just very, very fortunate to form part of this wonderful mission.